I'm going rogue. It's no secret that I like me some good old RPG goodness, but what might come as a surprise is that until recently, I had for the most part not played any of the classic level 5 titles, aside from 10 minutes of blindly running around an empty field in the Dark Cloud demo disc. Up until a month or so ago, the most experience I had had with the developer was Fantasy Life on the 3DS, which is amazing and everyone should go play it because, oh god, I love it so much, look at these cute little... But that all changed when I picked up a copy of Dragon Quest VIII and was like, damn, this is pretty good. Then a cheeky PlayStation Store sale bullied me into grabbing Dark Cloud and its sequel, which are both pretty excellent in their own right. This leads me into what I'll be talking about today, Rogue Galaxy, the fourth release from Level 5. Rogue Galaxy is an action RPG that was released in December of 2005 for the PlayStation 2, which sports a rather hideous cover. Get those gooby faces out of my face. Why, I order. Oddly enough, for whatever reason, Rogue Galaxy doesn't really seem to be talked about all that much, and I only found out about the game's existence somewhat recently. The history books don't seem to have been too kind to old Rogue Fallacy over here. Poor guy. Alright, enough of the history section that no one really cares about. Let's actually play a video game. The story here consists of this baby-faced goon, Jaster Rogue. I see what you did with his last name. Yeah, real clever, guys. Good going. Jaster is a teenage boy with a mysterious past who lives with his adoptive father and likes long walks on the beach and nights out on the town. He always dreamed of exploring space, and luckily for him, that dream came true as he's recruited to become a space pirate by the Iron Giant and Edward Scissorhands' bastard offspring, Steve, and that mole dude from the end of The Incredibles. Thus kickstarts the adventure where we get to meet such great characters as Discount Una, Discount Auron, Tarzan Girl, Nemo, and most importantly, Best Doggo. Who's a good boy? You are. Yes, you are, Mr. Deego. Yes, you are. Good boy. I would go into more detail about the plot, but it's pretty long, and honestly, it's kinda wank. All of the characters are fairly one-dimensional, and the writing isn't exactly stellar. If you're looking for a gripping plot to suck you in, then you best start looking elsewhere. Aside from the main plot, each of the many unique planets that Jaster and his crew of merry copyright infringements visit have their own little self-contained stories, which is something that I genuinely loved. From an out-of-touch civilization sacrificing kids to a big spider, to an evil mob story featuring Best Dog, there's plenty of short stories here for you to enjoy. Sure, the writing here still isn't great, but these mini-stories help the worlds feel more, with lack of a better word, alive, and they're a great distraction from the dull main plot. Gameplay-wise, Rogue Galaxy is pretty flippin' nifty. Each encounter you face allows you to play as any character in your roster, who all play slightly differently, with the main combat mechanics being press X to attack, hold X to perform a powered up attack, press square to use your alternate weapon, and circle to jump. Alongside the real-time combat, you're also able to open up a little command menu, where you can use items, switch up your AI's tactics, and use abilities. Overall, the combat is pretty fun, but it can get slightly tedious due to the high encounter rate. After 10 or so hours, I just found myself spamming area of effect attacks to end battles as quickly as possible. Aha! Take this sand in your eyes. And you take sand in your eyes. You all get sand. Oh wait, let me take a stamina potion. There we go, sand! While the combat can become a bit repetitive in the constant standard encounters, it really gets a chance to shine with each of the various bosses that Rogue Fallacy has to offer. Every boss requires a different tactic to take down, and they offer up some of the most enjoyable moments of the game. Take this giant spider thing for instance. Instead of just using a bunch of damage boost abilities and wailing on it for a few minutes, you have to freeze the spider with the gun that you obtained earlier in the game, and smash it up. It might not sound like a big deal, but forcing the player to learn the boss's weakness whilst dodging their attacks makes each boss feel genuinely unique and exciting. Sadly, as the game progresses, the quality of bosses kinda dips, with the last few bosses being pretty mediocre, and falling into the just whack 'em a bunch category. I don't want to whack 'em a bunch. Make me sort through my inventory to find a tic tac to flick into their eye to blind them momentarily so I can climb on them and whack them. like any good boss would. After each battle, Jaster and his crew of intellectual property theft get their shares of XP. That just kinda levels them up and increases a few stats. But that's not all, my impeccably dressed friend. Each of the characters' equipped weapons also gain experience, and once they're fully mastered, they can be combined with another mastered weapon to create an even better weapon. This is a pretty nifty little system that really made me experiment with the different types of weapons, instead of just sticking with the biggest sword with the highest damage output. I like it. I like it a lot. But you know what I like even more? The frog that eats your weapons. Look at this little guy. He a good. Alongside leveling up characters and weapons, you can also acquire new passive and active abilities through a skill tree that requires specific items for each branch. I like this system. It's a good, but also fuck every other character. My boy Deego is getting top priority. He's a good boy. You all probably know by now that I love exploration in games, and thankfully Rogue Galaxy does a great job at itching that one itchy spot on my lower back. While there aren't a ton of worlds, the handful that we have to explore all feel unique and are a pleasure to look around. No two worlds are even remotely the same, which really motivated me to keep on keeping on, to see what new sight was in store for me. The worlds are good. I like them. Finally, let's quickly talk about the presentation of the game. The graphics here are genuinely great, with everything being easy on the old iCubes, and despite some plastic looking pre-rendered cutscenes, the game as a whole visually holds up pretty well. Also, despite me goofing on them a bit, I also genuinely think a lot of the character design in this game is very solid, with the fish people being personal favourites design-wise. Look at these fishy dudes. What are they doing on land? Silly fishes, you gonna suffocate. You little goobers. Accompanying the lovely art style is a fantastic soundtrack composed by none other than, probably gonna butcher this, Tomohito Nishiura, who you may recognize from the Professor Layton series. As always, Mr. Nishiura did a top job, with the music really fitting the space piratey theme of the game. I don't know, I'm not great at talking about soundtracks. I just like this one a lot. Give me a break. Sorry for butchering your name. Overall, Rogue Galaxy is a solid action RPG that, for the most part, has aged quite well. With a fun combat system and interesting worlds to explore, it's hard not to enjoy the game, despite its wonky story desperately trying to bring the game down. Nice try, story. Not this time. I can happily recommend that you give it a go if you like the look of it. If not, then, I don't know, play Fantasy Life. Oh, there's also bug catching. I didn't do it. At all. Bugs! Hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please share it with your friends, family, or creepy neighbour, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Just want to say a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters, James, Stuart, Spencer, Andre, Tanner, Corey, Mark, Classy, and Harvey. You're all the real space dog pirates. If there's anything you liked or didn't like, be sure to let me know in the comments down below or tweet me at Snooping Turtle. Also, if you want to watch more videos of me doing dumb stuff, then you can check out this video I did for Kids Next Door, Operation Video Game, or this video I did for Ratchet & Clank, A Crack in Time. That's all from me now. I hope you have a lovely day. Bye-bye.